welcome. My name is Michelle Kleinert, and this is an online forum which is going to be talking today about the bursary. So let me begin by ALGWA Vic, in the spirit of reconciliation, acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Victoria and recognises their continuing connection to land, water and culture. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Very excited to bring this opportunity today, and this is about hearing about why you should nominate. We've got some wonderful guests with us today, including our former committee member and current chair of the bursary, which is Barb Apley AM. And for those that don't know much about ALGWA Vic, we're a peak body representing the interests of women in local government across Australia. We seek to further women's knowledge, understanding and participation in the function of local government. Membership is open to anyone interested in supporting and encouraging women participation in local government. So we also have Councillor, or should I say Mayor of South Gippsland Shire, Claire Williams, who's also with us today. And most importantly, the winners of today, well, the special guests. We have our 2023 ALGWA Vic Bursary winner, Sophie Patterson. Is that right, Patterson? Correct?
Yeah.
And Sophie is a dedicated community advocate who focuses on fostering relationships and improving outcomes for local communities, councils and governments, with excellent experience in current advocacy, and as the current advocacy lead for Glen Ira, that's a mouthful, and previous work in state government as an electorate officer and chief of staff. She has been able to make a meaningful impact, particularly around progressing policy ideas that prioritise community health. Current study in Master of Public Health, which Sophie hopes to, along with some previous work experience in healthcare, will assist in working towards a health in all policy approach in governments. So welcome and thank you for your time today. We also have the 2023 ALGWA Vic Bursary Highly Commended. That's Vanessa Bove. And Vanessa is a dedicated professional with a strong background in community development. She's passionate about fostering inclusive communities and has made significant contributions to the local government sector. Her commitment to excellence and continuous learning sets her apart, as demonstrated by her pursuit of ongoing education and participation in leadership programs. Vanessa's exceptional skills in project management, people management and stakeholder engagement make her a valued asset for driving positive impact in the community. Vanessa works at Manningham City Council, of which I'm a councillor there. So there we go. At this point, I also do want to acknowledge our 2023 and 2024 event sponsor and supporting partner. And so Vencia are again supporting us, which is absolutely wonderful. And I've got a few words from Katie James, who has been absolutely wonderful. So let me just find those words that have just come through. So here we go. We're proud of the talented and engaged women who work across a wide range of roles at Vencia. We're excited to sponsor the Bursary Award, as we believe in value that diversity brings to our company as well as to the communities that we work in. Vencia does a lot of work with local governments across the state. Diversity and inclusion drives Vencia's ability to attract, retain and motivate and develop the best and brightest talent, resulting in engaged workforce. Every day we work across diverse communities, so it's important that our workforce reflects this diversity to ensure we understand the connections and communities in which we operate. Vencia is firmly committed to cultivating an inclusive environment where all individuals and communities can work and socialise, embracing the richness of diversity and recognising the immense value that this brings. And that's why this award so much aligns with Vencia. And then we've also got LG Pro again. They're our supporting partner for 2024. And the CEO, Jill Brown, has said, as a member association for staff right across Victorian councils, LG Pro provides a voice to the people working in the varied roles our sector offers. LG Pro provides professional development and networking to make sure you're the best you can be. And LG Pro provides recognition to reward those who give so much to our communities. It's a big part of why LG Pro partners with ALGWA Vic. With a proud history of fostering the professional growth of women in local government, the Bursary Award is a chance to support and reward the well-deserving individuals in our sector, like the two we have on today. LG Pro seeks a local government sector where women in our communities are willing and able to take up positions as both officers and elected officials in council workplaces that support them. This is what makes LG Pro partnership with ALGWA Vic such a natural fit. And it really is wonderful. It's very exciting. And so today we're here to really encourage those thinking about nominating in 2024. And so with that, I'm going to head straight to you, Sophie. Tell me first about your role at Glen Ira.
Yep, I'm I think you said it before, I'm the current advocacy lead for Glen Ira City Council. And my role's really broad and basically includes everything about advocating for Glen Ira's priority projects, funded and non-funded policy. And this really sort of includes with all levels, communication with all levels of government, trying to work with other councils to try and improve advocacy, peak body work, community industry groups, our alliances, some community direct engagement work as well. Council's really keen to raise awareness of sector-wide issues, particularly cost shifting, responding to the climate emergency, planning. We're all sort of facing a lot of similar issues, transitioning to a circular economy, affordable housing, integrated transport. So really trying to raise the profile, not only for to improve outcomes for our community, but across for councils across Victoria where we've got a lot of sector-wide issues. So I report to the Manager of Public Affairs, but really work across council really closely with our councillors, our CEO, business units, to really try and align our policies and strategies so that they find a uniform platform for advocacy, because we often know that sometimes we write these policies and strategies and they sit online and don't have a voice. So it's really trying to think about how we put those advocacy items into different forums, whether it's our alliance work or our motions with peak bodies. So yeah, I've been at council for about 14 months and yeah, really enjoying working local government.
Fantastic. And you're doing your Masters. When does that finish? When do you complete that?
I've just finished it. I've got my graduation next Friday.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And so now, Vanessa, over to you. So your role in council, and I believe from when you got the award to now, there's been a little bit of change in your role?
Yeah, correct. So at the time of the award, I was the special projects lead at Manningham, overseeing the aged care reform work. Since then, and since the award, I have moved into a different role. So I'm now the Manager of Economic and Cultural Activation at Manningham. So a bit of a promotion there for me, so thank you. So what that means is I look after the economic development portfolio at Manningham. So the economic development strategy is a leading strategy for us and a really new space that we're moving in. So a lot of responsibility setting up that team, but a lot of excitement being able to do something from scratch. I also take care of the arts, culture and local history teams. So arts is quite broad in Manningham. We do studios, galleries, we have a playhouse, but it's also about public art and how we have those assets out in the community. And last but definitely not least, I look after the community grants and the events portfolio. So we have quite an extensive grants program here at Manningham that I oversee, as well as our events. So talking from citizenship all the way to carols by candlelight. So it's quite a diverse portfolio. I love the event space. That's my background. So I'm excited to be able to find a more permanent leadership role at Manningham. I've been at Manningham for 4 years and this is my 5th role. So excited to be able to sink my teeth into this one.
Fantastic. Well done. And you were nominated for the Bursary Award because you were studying doing an MBA's.
Correct.
Where are you in that, in fact?
Oh, I'm so jealous of Sophie, who's finished. I'm only halfway now, so I've got another 8 subjects to go. So it's good. I'm doing my Master's Business Administration. So yeah, Sophie, congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. So I look forward to feeling that relief that you feel in a couple of years.
It's a nice relief, a nice weight off the shoulders.
Fantastic.
I have no doubt.
So Sophie, let's start with the process in which you were nominated. Like, how did you hear about the award? Did someone approach you? Did you hear about what? Tell us about that.
To be honest, I'd actually never heard of ALGWA before. I hadn't worked in local government. I had been sort of working in local government for about 6 months, and I got the email from the CEO. Obviously, she and I have a bit in common because when I applied for the job, I have always said I'm a very strong advocate for women. I spent a lot of time trying to save this women's accommodations shelter in the city. And it's always been one of my passions and really aligns with her committee work as well. So I received the email from her. I think she sent it to a few of us. She knew I was studying for my Master of Public Health and that I could probably benefit from the award. I had started my Master's back in COVID when I thought I was bored and I had nothing to do, and I thought it was a good idea because I've always been interested in that, how we adopt a health in all policy approach. And it's particularly relevant to council because we know that every council policy we write, about planning strategies or transport options or open space, it all has impacts on community health. So I did jump at the opportunity and, I was sort of looking for some inspiration to get through my Masters. I was stagnating a little bit. I just didn't quite have the motivation to get it done. So I never like to say no to opportunities when they're presented because you never know if you'll ever get that opportunity again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the process was quite hard, I have to say. I'm not going to lie. That application form is quite, because you've got minimum of word writing in each application area. But it did give me a lot of time to think about some of my goals and where I see myself, and then putting the 2 supporting references, which I was nervous about because I was new at council and asking 2 new people, but they all jumped at the chance. I was pleasantly really surprised. But Leo, I'm really happy I made the effort. I had no idea I think I've mentioned this to you before, I had no idea of the reach of the award, and it's been a really interesting and confidence building experience.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think there's something about that. That process can be confidence building, but it also gets you to really look at your work. You had to really look at yourself and look at all that you're doing. And, we naturally find that really hard to do. So, yeah, we can't underestimate that. So, Vanessa, tell me about how did the nomination for you come about?
Well, as you mentioned, Michelle, you're a councillor at the council where I work. So it's a bit hard to have the executive officer in your council not know ALGWA. So I was already aware of the association, the work that you ladies do. I wasn't aware of the award though. I was elbow deep in the reform. So my director clicked me across an email and said, hey, I think this would be really good for you to have a look at. And I had a look at it. And as Sophie said, I saw all the questions. I'm like, do I have time for this? Am I going to have time for this? But, being a mum, studying and working, you tend to put yourself at the bottom of the pile. So I made the effort to take this time to do this for myself. So that's how it got there. But it was, as I know this is, as Sophie said, I found the process quite confronting, talking about yourself. It's not something that comes naturally to you. And then to also have your peers and people who had to support that write wonderful things about you too. It was quite a humbling experience from start to finish for me.
Really, like you've made a really good point with regards to, work, study, being a mum, this makes you be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
It's confronting as it is, and you're having to sort of, puff your, you feel all puffed up sort of thing, but it's actually truth telling, isn't it?
I know, and we all have different roles, different hats at different times. So to actually stand in that moment and just be Vanessa I haven't done that in a very long time. So it was a really good exercise for myself to go through regardless of the outcome.
Fantastic. So the process, how did you find the process?
Sophie or me?
Oh, I'll stick with you and then I'll go back to Sophie.
No problem. No, look, as I said, I was initially overwhelmed by the questions and but it was a good exercise to go through. So when I initially wrote down my first answers and went through it, I went back to it and went back to it again, because the more I talked it through with people, or I had my director to talk it through with, which was fantastic, you tend to undersell yourself quite a bit. So it was, as I said, regardless of the outcome, it was a really worthwhile process to go through, because it did build my confidence. It has led to other opportunities across council, and it has increased my exposure. So what looks like a lot of work initially, it's, regardless, as I said, of the outcome, it's so worth it just for your own self-growth and development.
Love it. Thank you. Sophie, what about you?
I ditto all those benefits of the awards. And look, I probably went into panic mode because I committed to apply before even reading the application form. And I'd only got the email 3 days before the closing date. So I had to really sort of, I like to write things and then reflect back on them the next day, because sometimes, you remembered something, or there's something else you want to add, and you revise it. So, but I really, I didn't expect at that stage that I was going to enjoy my job so much in local government. I sort of took a contract job here, and I was really also have been really sort of pleasantly surprised about how rewarding it is in local government. And I think it's for me, I think speaking up for women, but also improving awareness about how beneficial jobs in local government can be as well was kind of my aim. And that broader opportunity, my role is very much around networking at council, because if I can't have those conversations across council and understand what's going on, then my kind of advocacy falls apart a bit. So it's really raised my profile across council and across all sort of different areas. It's been great.
Fantastic. So I suppose the most rewarding thing, if you reflect, besides, the winner receives, money, which it's $2,500 of cash money, which, goes a long way, because, study, there's always a cost to that. Tickets to LG Pro conference, gala dinner, courses from LG Pro, ticket to the ALGWA Vic conference, of which you'll be speaking at and sharing. Have you chosen your course yet, Sophie, from LG Pro?
I did. Unfortunately, I had annual leave planned for the week of the LG Pro Gala dinner, so I couldn't attend it. I was really disappointed, but I had booked tickets to go and see Coldplay in Perth. So unfortunately, that one. But I am looking forward to the ALGWA conference in Warwick, although I'm definitely the opportunity to speak. I've on our CEO coming to support me, and she's really, she's a huge supporter of ALGWA's work. I think she sits on the committee for the ministerial Gender Equity Advisory Committee or something like that. So she's really passionate about this sort of thing. My LG Pro course, I actually just did a one-day course last week. It was on writing for influence in local government. And it was really interesting because it looked at writing effective info council reports, looking at different style guides across council and picking out, the best pieces, looking at sort of examples of best practice communications. I haven't chosen my second day course yet, but I am attending the LG Pro conference in May for 2 days, which I'm really looking forward to. And council's also asked me to represent them at the MAV and ALGWA conference this year. So it kind of makes my role exciting across all this peak body work.
Fantastic. So when we look at, the most rewarding thing for you, what it's really hard to pinpoint, because, there's seems like so many doors have just opened. So, if you reflect back now, what's the most rewarding? It's work to do the nomination. You're the bursary winner.
Yeah. I think, and as I said before, I had no idea of the reach before applying. It was really sort of confidence building for me. the ongoing, after the award, I got emails from councillors across Victoria and regional areas that I hadn't even met before, congratulating me. I had council officers from within Glen Ira also coming and saying, well done. I think Glen Ira had done a social media post and LinkedIn post to promote it. So it really improved my profile across council for sure, and across that collaboration with other councils and across all the peak body. So definitely increased profile and created conversations I wouldn't have had without it. Yeah. Another part of the story which is interesting, which I think resonated with some women, is I talked a bit about the my lacking of confidence and as a woman re-entering the workforce after a long time out of work and being at home and managing full-time motherhood and the time management issues and everything, and also trying to find a path back in to find something for me work-wise. So I think this whole sort of there's a bit of an untapped employment opportunity for local government there, I think, to tap into women to get back into the workforce. But I think the whole package for me, and certainly it was a huge motivation for me to finish my course in the first place. I needed a bit of a kick up the, to keep going. So I think the whole thing just inspired me to keep going and improve my skill set and confidence in council. And I think it's been really rewarding.
Fantastic. Vanessa, most rewarding?
Well, no, very similar to what Sophie says, the profile and the reach is, you can't put a value on that. It's especially in this sector, local government, although big, is very small at the same time. So to be able to reach more people beyond what you imagine has been an amazing thing that's come from this. It's also, as I mentioned before, extremely humbling to be. Work did a very similar with me, Sophie. They put a LinkedIn post up. They actually sent an all-staff email around, which I was not expecting. The people that had reached out and just congratulated me, I know, and it's just about as good as coming first, really, second place. And it was, at the end of the day, you just spend so much time doing what you need to do in your day-to-day. Like, I don't remember life before my children. I've always worked full-time. I went from high school straight to uni, and, you don't stop. So to actually just stop and look at your accomplishments and just celebrate that amongst your peers and just amongst others is just such a rewarding experience. I had so many people from the organisation there on the night some who had seen me at work, briefing counsellors, see me my day-to-day, but to actually step in there and understand a bit more of myself and my journey was just rewarding in itself. And it's daunting to stand in front of, how many people were in that room, Michelle? I just do want to count on the night. Yeah, it's daunting to stand there and tell your personal journey and speak about yourself, but to push myself and challenge myself to do something a bit different as well. It's just the growth that comes from it and the timing, I guess, the timing of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's inspiring for other council officers as well. I had other council officers coming up to me, even at our Christmas party last year, months later, saying, "Oh, tell me about your ward." And even in social occasions, not even within work, people would come up and say, "I saw that, ALGWA Award online. Can you tell me what that is?" So, even improving awareness from people not even involved in local government.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So the night, it was the first one that we did as a face-to-face after COVID. I was in the executive role from president to executive officer March 2020, and then everything, we did everything like this. So it was our first one. I wanted it to make it, special for ALGWA Vic, and the night, from ALGWA Vic's perspective, it was absolutely awesome because it was about celebrating officers starting to further their career pathways in local government. I had a councillor who came, and there was none of their staff were nominated, and they afterwards went, "I'm so blown away, how empowering, I've got a new I've got a different, thought process in just my respect to officers." Just from that night, I had an officer who was there supporting one of the finalists that said it was just an absolute wonderful opportunity to hear people speak that are in the sector that aren't necessarily CEOs, directors. There was quite, the finalists were quite broad. So, on reflection, and I felt the vibe was amazing, but on reflection, the night.
I thought the same thing with the councillors. There was a couple of councillors there who didn't even have an officer nominated, and I thought that was really interesting that they were so passionate about the awards and what it means. So it was quite inspiring. But no, I was absolutely terrified because I'm terrified of public speaking. So I drank water until that was over. But absolutely amazing. You all did an amazing job. The aquarium was an absolute highlight. I've never been to a function there. So very special setting. And I didn't even realise there was 120 people there. It seemed a bit of a blur. But having so many people in one room, a couple of my colleagues cheering me on, and it's more than that. It was the support of all the councils. It was all the ALGWA meeting, the opportunity to meet a lot of ALGWA representatives and across councillors who are also really supportive in all their conversations, which also has led to some sort of further advocacy opportunities afterwards. So yeah, it was just really inspiring night. So I loved it.
Fantastic. Vanessa.
I think I had to speak first, which is never the fun thing to do, but it actually gave me the opportunity to sit back and just enjoy the rest of the night once I had, you had to get that thing done. But standing up there on stage and looking at everyone and speaking, honestly, it's the first time and only time I've ever felt the support and the warmth of the room towards me. So as I was talking, people normally nod and encourage you to keep speaking, but the energy and the support coming off the group was such an amazing experience. And just, as I said, regardless of the outcome, the feeling that it gave you in that moment to look around the room and know that everyone is not only engaged but understands what you're trying to say and is encourage you to continue to go and keep on going in your story. So by the time you get through your first couple of sentences, you just are comfortable to be there and share that quite personal story with everyone. And I like to say it comes a bit with the warmth of a woman, and I know it's just a whole room of women propping women up, and you have the allies in there. Obviously there was men in the room as well and whatnot, but it was such a safe space to be able to try something different for yourself and put yourself out there as a person. And you don't get those opportunities. When I get up at council and I speak to the councillors in any briefing session, as much as I'm Vanessa, I'm there to represent my role. So to be in that position to represent myself and have such support in that, it hasn't happened in my life and probably won't happen again. So the night in itself, as daunting it is to get up there and speak about yourself, it was a memory and an experience I'll keep with me always. And the fish helped. Fish were beautiful. The aquarium was amazing.
The setting did help.
Can't remember the food, too nervous. Can't remember my towels.
It was definitely a very safe place for women. And I feel that completely is a huge benefit of local government, having spent 4 years in state politics, where, gender equality is not really something that they work with. Everyone sees horrible examples of it. So coming here and feeling so appreciated in a room of women that were all inspired and empowered, it really is quite unique. And I think people don't give that enough credit.
Yes. And I think one thing that is very unique, I go to a lot of award nights, but for those that are listening and have not been to our bursary event, the finalists get to speak. They get to speak before the winner is announced. And from a councillor perspective, and certainly hearing all the feedback that we get from ALGWA Vic, is that that's the part that blows everyone away. There is such inspiration of everyone that gets to speak, and we know public speaking is not everyone's forte. Most people would rather die than public speak. They say it's one of three most, pet hates. But there's something so wonderful in people are there to celebrate, those that have been nominated and have got thus far, which, is really, it's quite special. Because normally you go to awards nights, the names are up and then the winner gets, hello, there's the winner certificate, 30 seconds and that's it. This is really hearing and listening, and it gives us such greater understanding of people's roles and individuals that are bringing themselves forth. So yeah,
It does give it was a good
Sophie.
opportunity. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Go.
Well, it was a great opportunity though for us to actually have a go at public speaking. You don't get to those opportunities very often, and although it's terrifying, it was great to be able to practice doing it.
yeah, and everyone did it amazing. Vanessa, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, without the opportunity to speak to the group and have the opportunity to talk, the networking and all the benefits of the outreach wouldn't have come for me, because people got to understand who I was and they reached out because of that, not because I was a name on a board. So getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing, and in a safe place as well just makes it easy to do so. But strongly encourage anyone, if that's what's deterring people, it's the quickest 5 minutes of your life.
Fantastic. Vanessa, how has this assisted you in your leadership goals?
Well, look, I've been very fortunate in my time at Manningham to be given opportunities to try new things, and I've worked really closely with ALGWA Pro in the past, which has helped boost my profile internally as well, being a part of one of their leadership programs. But, won this award in August, got a promotion in September, you never know, but it helped with my profile across the organisation and instilled confidence in our executive team to show what I was capable of, because they only really knew me to the extent of the work I delivered, which is really important, obviously. Yeah. But to give them that personal side and to really instill them with that confidence in who I can be for them has been really good. There's also a lot of feedback about how I helped in raising the profile for Manningham. We're one of those councils that, we're quite achievers and we don't get a lot of profile through what we do. So to be able to give to the organisation in a way, giving back, was a really good benefit as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sophie.
You're so talented, Vanessa. I can't believe I'm still in awe at what I was trying to think about your what you're managing before, all the events and grants and
right back at you, Sophie. I can't do what you do, so.
Leadership, I'm still in the same role, and I suppose for me, having never worked in council before, I've really sort of spent the last 12 months improving my knowledge on council processes, and it's quite complicated, all the different abbreviations and info council reports and OCMs and everything that you have to deal with, and working with councillors and we've had an organisational restructure as well, so that's been interesting. But I do plan to use these skills and build on my knowledge to work up or across council, or improve my skill set in different areas. So I do think I'll stay in local government for a while.
Fantastic. And I'll finish off with, why should councils nominate an officer? Why should they be tapping an officer on the shoulder in 2024? Sophie, what's your encouragement to them?
Well, I think every council should be made to nominate someone, depending on their ability to commit to further study. But I just think it's a great way to promote employees to upskill and to stay at council. Retaining staff can be a challenge for local government. So empowering staff to improve confidence, improve knowledge of council, and empowering women, is really, really important. So I think it should be compulsory.
Love it. I love it. Vanessa. Hard to follow that response. Sophie encapsulated it beautifully, but you don't get a lot of opportunity to just stand on the shoulders of other women and to really empower and support women separately. It's normally a hand in hand when you look at council as a whole. So you're given a really unique opportunity here to tap someone on the shoulder. It doesn't have to be someone who is got quite a large profile already in council. Just studying in itself, and as Sophie said, it encouraged her to finish. So it's about giving someone the opportunity to find another pathway to further support themselves and champion women. Women need to support other women, and to have an opportunity to be able to have that something that is an organisation is supporting, not an individual person. It's a really good message across the organisation to all other women, studying or not studying. The sector, as Sophie said, we need to find more ways to keep women engaged and different pathways. So I'm working connected communities. We have more part-time staff than full-time staff to accommodate the need for women and their needs and family needs around that. That needs to be normalised, and we need to find other ways to keep us engaged. So I'm studying for choice, and I want to be able to help my career further along when the time comes to take that step. I want to have that really there. And opportunities like these, it's a big financial commitment outside of the household, everything. So your master's, you're looking at $50,000. That's nothing to sniff at. So to be able to help a staff member through and get some further contribution towards that, it's just icing on the cake for someone trying to further their own story.
Fantastic. Well, we've got thank you so much. We've got the conference coming up. Gosh, just over a month away. You'll be coming, Vanessa.
Sure am. I'll be looking forward to listening to Sophie speak.
Wonderful. Part of your prize to be invited to come. Sophie, you're speaking, guest speaker that's going to share on what the bursary has done for you, how it's inspired you, and it's a room filled with people that probably have never gone back. Many have never gone back to their councils and encouraged and said, "Come on, we've got to get a nomination in." It's a positive for all, and this very today has demonstrated just that by both of you. So how are you feeling about the conference? You ready to take it on as one of the guest speakers?
I am excited. My daughter's really jealous. She's going, "Why can't I come to Warragul for the weekend?"
Well, she can. She can.
Yeah, look, I'm always, as well as sharing my story, if I can inspire one person in the room, then I always feel kind of rewarded just with that. But I also get really inspired by hearing other people's stories and listening to other speakers to get new ideas. And I always find that whole sort of, collaborative meeting is really, really motivational for me. So it's an interesting opportunity for further networking, looking to improve the path of women in government. I think it's a really wonderful opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Vanessa. No doubt for those that are listening, if they've got questions that they might want to contact you via LinkedIn. I know you both well enough to know that you will assist them and encourage them to nominate, to get involved, because it's done so much, and it's one of those things. That's why this award is so special. Nominations officially open at the conference. Sophie officially opens it after her speech. Sophie sits as the 2023 winner, is on the panel for 2024. So I don't envy your job, and hands the reins over to the next person. So I just want to say thank you to both of you for your time, for your inspiration, your dedication. Like I always say, officers are the professionals that ultimately make the councillors look good when good decision making is made. So it's our respect back to officers that work very hard, put their careers on the line, and many times that's then displayed on a council floor in decision making. So well done to you both, and also to your councils that have supported you, both of you, and supported all those nominees in the past and all those nominees that will be in the future. So final words before we wrap it up, Sophie.
Thank you. Sorry, I've chosen a room next to the luncheon room, so apologies for all the slamming doors behind me.
Can't hear it, so all good.
No, I just wanted to say thank you really for the opportunity as well. Without ALGWA and all the LG Pro and Ventia and all the supporters, we wouldn't have had this amazing opportunity. So yeah, just a big thank you from me.
Fantastic. Vanessa, final words?
Yeah, just to extend on Sophie's thank yous, obviously, to ALGWA and the sponsors, but just to the women who have paved the path for us to allow us to get there. I have so much respect for those who have walked before us and really championed women in the sector. And just a big thank you, Michelle, to yourself, Barbara and Claire, for your support through this process as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And just before we finish, Barb, as chair of the bursary, former first female mayor to Geelong, former executive member of the ALGWA committee, ALGWA Vic. Barb, any reflection words? You've sat, listened to many, but this has been quite inspirational.
Just very quickly, Michelle, thanks very much for the invitation to sit in on this, and I'm sure Claire is listening too and would agree. But really, thanks to Sophie and Vanessa for their highlighting the opportunities that the bursary has presented to them. And I really certainly would encourage any other officers, and particularly councillors, to think outside the square and say, hey, here's a great opportunity. Let's showcase this particular person. I think the biggest thing, when I was listening to the two officers, and I'm just in awe of you, I guess a lot of your fellow officers working across all council areas would have self-doubts about whether or not they're worthy enough. And I just want to assure people that unless you put your foot in this and take this opportunity and give it a really good go, you can do it. And I'm sure you both, Vanessa and Sophie, thought we're not good enough. We haven't got a hope in hell. We haven't got time to fill out those blasted questions and who set them and what's the intent behind it. And that's being finessed all the time too. So any feedback with regards to how you handled those questions, or is there a way that our committee can actually fine tune them to be more appropriate, because things do change. But Michelle, thank you so very much for all your hard work. You should pat yourself on the back, girl. You're a little dynamo, and all the best, all the best to you. But I'm looking forward to making sure that we get a lot of officers putting their hands up and saying, we want to give this a go, because it's just been inspirational hearing the two ladies here today. And I totally agree. I was thinking about when you were talking about the fish at the aquarium, and I thought, and there was quite a few sharks that were circling around too.
Giant alligator too, from memory.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And and all the women frightened them away. So there you go. But I wish you well in your studies, and well done, Sophie. I'll be thinking about you in graduation. And Vanessa, you keep the ball rolling too, my dear girl. But
thank you, Barbara. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
So that wraps it up. So thank you very much. Again, any questions, contact admin@algwa.com.au. Reach out to Sophie, Vanessa through Glenara or Manningham, LinkedIn, or however. It's easy to get a hold of them. If you can't, I'll connect you. And just nominate. You won't regret the process and the opportunity that is ahead for you. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much to all that have come on and shared, Sophie, Vanessa, and acknowledging we can't make this happen without our event sponsor, Ventia, and supporting partner, LG Pro. Absolutely fantastic. We're ecstatic at the great support to ALGWA Vic. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Good luck.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.